up, y'all? This is Financial Finesser. I am doing my Legacy Edition YouTube series today with a special guest, my mom, on Mother's Day. Discuss my finances, her finances, and just have a general conversation about money because it's okay to talk about money in our families. And so just kind of thinking about where you're at in your debt-free journey and thinking about how your behaviors that you have kind of can coincide with the behaviors you saw your parents do with money. I thought it would be an amazing idea to bring my mother on the show to discuss what her idea of money is and to talk a little bit more about how much she's transformed in her life to where she is now. So I'm gonna ask you a few questions because I'm just curious. You know, I grew up in the same household as her, but no, she was in the same household as me, but I didn't grow up in the same household as her. Wait,
What?
what am I
Moved in my house.
Well, yeah, it was your house. I was there growing, but I didn't get to see you grow up in your house.
Got it. Okay.
That's what I'm trying to say.
All right.
She saw me grow up in my house. Oh man, it was your house. The point I'm making is, with money, I think we learn from what we see our parents do. But what do you think?
I think I agree with you because what children do is imitate life.
Mm-hmm.
Just as I imitated what I saw in my household, you imitate what you see, what you saw in your household.
So what do you think about me getting this money, working like 4 jobs and working all this overtime to pay off my debt?
Well, I think being out of debt is extremely important.
Mm-hmm.
I think I do agree with you that while you're young and you are free, meaning
What am I free from?
Free from children, free from a marriage. You're on your own. And
You
you
make
have no
marriage
one.
sound like a bondage.
It's not a
Free
bondage.
from this
However,
bondage?
what I mean though,
It's called marriage.
That's not what I mean. What I mean is you have no people obligations. I encourage you to go out and grab those coins.
Does it bother you that I work a lot? You could be honest.
Sometimes, yes.
Wow,
It
really?
does.
The truth.
does.
It bothers her that I work a lot. So when did you first accrue your first debt? And what was it?
Oh, it was definitely a clothing store credit card.
Was it Charles Jourdan?
No, it was not Charles Jourdan. It was, well, millennials may not remember it as being Learners.
I remember Learners.
You
I hated
remember
that
Learners?
store.
Oh, well now Learners is a New York
In company, yeah. Because you used to
Okay.
drag me into Learners after school.
Yeah.
And I would just be like, can we go home? And I think I was probably my mom's first shopping buddy. I just kind of stared at her. While
The
she
one
did
who
her-
hated shopping.
She did her thing, and I would just be like, yeah, it looks nice. I'm hungry. Do you remember what the debt balance was?
I can tell you what it is now.
I guess that's the most important part. Interesting. How old were you?
Late 20s.
29?
Let's see, yeah, about late 20s, early 30s, based on when you were born, yeah.
Do you think it's possible for people to get out of debt?
Yes.
Do you think it's possible for you to get out of debt?
Absolutely.
How much debt have you paid off, and when did you start getting out of debt or trying to get out of debt?
My debt-free journey started about 2 years ago. Here's the deal. I got out of debt. I paid off all of my credit cards.
Yeah.
Okay?
Wow.
And I did that about 7 years, going on 8 years ago.
Okay.
I was credit card debt-free.
Mm-hmm.
But I was still enslaved to that credit card lifestyle.
Oh, it's a lifestyle.
It's a lifestyle.
Wow.
And I got back into it. In my second go around with debt, I had 9 credit card debts.
That's a lot.
Some of it was not all credit card debts, I should say. I think there was maybe 3 or 4 that were not. But I had a total of 9.
Oh, Chile.
Yes, girl.
A lot of debt
It
credits.
is. But I'm happy to announce now that I am down to 3.
You're down to 3?
Down to 3.
Wow, you've been working really, really hard.
I've been working hard. I've been working fast. And I have to say that
That's really incredible.
it's incredible what I have to say. I learned from my kids. You know, it's interesting. I was thinking about this a few days ago, how I have 3 children and how I raised my children the best that I knew how. I taught them as much as I could, the best that I knew how. And now they're teaching me. Started listening to Andrea about her debt-free journey, and I jumped on it.
Yeah, you did.
And I want to be on a debt-free journey. I want to be debt-free because it's a vicious cycle. It's a vicious cycle.
Struggling.
You know, and I don't want to be that kind of mom that have my hand out. Oh, my babies will take care of me.
I'm so grateful for that she's
No.
saying that. We're definitely keeping this footage to play
It's a reminder.
10 years from now. This is great. So I had another question off the top of my head, but I can't think of it. So do you have questions for me? Because, you know, we're talking about our money with our families.
I want to make sure that you are not going to get completely out of debt and follow that same vicious cycle that I did.
Well, I
by
did.
Getting back
I
out.
did do that.
So then,
I did do that once.
so
It was just yesterday. It feels like.
you know, I was gonna say yesterday. Okay, so then what is my question for you two then would be, what is your plan to, once out of it, stay out of it? I like to learn from there. What is your plan?
So I've paid off. I originally had 9 credit cards as well, and I
I'm gonna
did.
do you like you did me 9.
It's- I had 9. I didn't even know she had 9, but I had 9 credit cards.
Like mother, like daughter.
Yeah, and I did pay them all off. I paid them all off last year in 2019, and I shredded them. Like, I took my credit cards and I shredded them one by one. I had Ulta, I had Victoria's Secret, I had two US bank cards, that's 4. I had an Amazon Prime card, that's 5. I got
Amazon has a Prime card?
Oh yes, and you get them points at Whole Foods. Guys, don't do it though.
Oh.
So I had all of those cards. I had like a few. American Express. We can't forget about her.
You had her?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
So I wanted the Delta Sky Miles. So yeah, I had so many, and I had got out of it. But then when I hit a hardship, I had to move, and then other things happened. I got back into it and charged Living Spaces on a Living Spaces credit card.
Yeah, I remember that. I helped you out with that one.
Yeah, you did. It was about it must have been like what, $4,000? A little bit over $4,000.
Feels like more.
Yeah, I'm probably being nice. It was like $5,000, and then PayPal credit line another $2,300. So I was definitely in the hole. But I think my plan for staying out of it is, I need to cut those 2 credit lines. Number 1, that's the first thing, because if the credit line doesn't exist, I can't rack up more debt. But then number 2, I think it's right now I'm just sort of relying on the behavior change. Like, now that I've paid off another round of credit cards and have been saving aggressively, like my savings account now looks like one of those credit lines I had. So that
that's a good thing.
yeah,
though,
it
isn't
makes me feel good. So I trust that the behavior change piece, my mind has been renewed in that aspect, but also just like the having more accountability. So I would say like there is some pressure to stay out of debt, to keep paying off debt and not accumulating more just by me having a channel. So I think the accountability of like filming my entire journey, I don't want to be a hypocrite. Like, so what if I'm having this channel and I'm swiping my credit cards and all that stuff?
Right.
There's a lot of accountability that comes into a channel. So
like fake news.
yeah, like fake news, because I've been so open with things with my friends who may still have credit card debt, but because they want me to win at this. Even if they don't believe what I'm doing 100%, and it may sound bizarre, they saw that I worked in a retail job after grad school with my full-time job with running a side business. So they understand when I go cash only, and they understand when I just have to have, I need a week's advance, 2 weeks advance to know if we're going out. So
every card that I pay off, I shred. I got that from you. And when she first told me that,
oh, she was tripping. Y'all, she was tripping. She was like, you don't. She had all these isms.
Hold on.
Yeah, she was. She was like, well, you can shred the cards, but don't cut off the credit lines because it's going to ruin your credit and all this stuff. Just keep them attached to the different online stores.
Just hold one.
Charge one for gas or a piece of gum.
A piece of gum.
A piece of gum.
Because they'll cut it off if you don't charge a piece of gum.
It was like, I just knew when I sent her the video of me shredding all them credit cards, it did something to her.
When she told me, I said, hold on, Andrea, please don't do it. She said, too late. I was like, oh.
They was gone. Well, because shredding is like cutting off the behavior and the dependency on it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because now I feel like, and I heard you say, if I can't afford to buy it twice, I don't need it. As long as my bills are paid, I'm buying it. I will treat myself. I, however, am no longer addicted to retail. So, Andrea, I have a question for you. What are some of the changes that you have made that you will, continue, that you will incorporate as a life change for you?
Yeah, that's a good question because it is a life change. So what has changed is, number one, if there's something I see that I want, I actually don't buy it right away. Yeah.
Okay.
So I've been looking at something called instant gratification. And I had this epiphany a few months ago that as children, adults say like children who always get what they want grow up to be adults who are kind of like needy and demanding and think they need to get what they want, right? At least I've heard that. So as adults, I got to a point with myself where I'm like, I need to tell myself no sometimes, because if I always give myself what I want every single time, then I'm conditioning myself to never tell myself no.
Okay.
And then one day when I have kids, either I'll tell them no sometimes, but they'll never see me tell myself no, or I'll tell them yes all the time because that's how I love myself. But with instant gratification, it's actually good to delay it and have delayed gratification. And then the biggest thing I did was get out of a contract phone bill, which, if I recall, you made fun of me about having cheap phones because I had Metro PCS. Even my coworkers were like making fun of me. They're like, you got that hood plan, but that hood plan is not a contract and it's only $50 a month. And for cell phones, I buy my cell phones in cash. So I just bought an iPhone 7, which is recording our YouTube video, in cash. It was $200 at Metro PCS. She's still bougie. So in a way, like, I have the habit, the biggest change was that I now have the habit where I don't make payments on things and I don't buy anything full price.
Okay.
What about you?
Okay, so for me, you and I do some of the same things, and we hadn't even talked about this.
Yeah.
I have always been one to feel like I ain't paying full price for nobody's dress. I'm waiting for all of it to go on sale. Even when I was addicted to retail, I would do the same thing. First of all, I always slept on a dress that I saw. Try it on, loved it in the store, but wouldn't buy it. That's one thing how I did. The other thing I did, and I laugh at her about Metro PCS, but now that I am an old woman,
you have a
consumer cellular. That's
okay,
right.
so that is no different. It's
That's
just Metro
right.
PCS for older people.
Yeah, no, not really, because I mean, I pay a monthly bill. It's
But
a monthly
is it a
bill.
contract?
I know it's not a contract.
Okay, so she too is on a ratchet plan.
That's okay, because you know what? My phone bill went from $150 to, I think, $54.
Oh, talk about it.
Yeah, so,
Saving
you
the
know,
coins.
I'm saving coins.
So last question is, what advice do you have for anybody who's younger than you trying to get out of debt? Maybe they're in their 20s, early 20s. What's one thing you can say to them?
Follow Andrea's example,
Oh,
as I did. Follow her example. If you are young enough to work 2, 3 jobs, do it. Do whatever you have to do to get out of the debt. Cut those credit cards in half. Shred them. Burn them. Do whatever you have to do. Get out of the debt, especially while you're young. You don't want to carry this into your 40s and 50s. The other thing I would say is, step number 2 is save. Save your money. Stop spending all of your money. Save something. Tithing is a biblical term. In the Bible, it says to tithe. You pay 10% to the church. I'd say tithe to yourself. Save at least 10% of your income. I don't know if some of you millennials even hear your mothers say that to you now. I've heard my grandmother say it. I've heard my mother say it. But we have to do it. Save your money. Don't spend it all. Don't smoke it all. Don't eat it all up. You know, save some of your money. I'm furloughed, but you know what? I'm not standing in a line waiting on a food box. I'm not standing.
I'm furloughed, but I ain't tripping.
I'm furloughed, but I'm not tripping.
Hashtag furloughed, but not tripping.
That's right.
Wow.
And that is no brag on me. I thank God.
Well, taken out of the mouth of my mom on Mother's Day, this was the Financial Finesser Legacy Edition. And I hope you all are out there saving your coin, your acorns, your money, your moolah, your
quarters.
racks.
Yes.
And also discussing money with your family in a very healthy way. Until next time, y'all.